Um, Sir, ma'am, first, Kuya, what is your name?
Okay, my name is Muhammad Rom, and
And you
My
are?
name is Amelisa Awal. You can call me Icha.
Yeah, and my name Hadi Rizkia Putri. You can call me Hadi.
So, how old are you guys?
I'm 20 years old.
So do I, 20 years old.
Yeah.
So do I too?
We are 20 years old.
So, how long will you stay here in the Philippines?
Okay, maybe you answer.
We are a month.
One
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 month.
month. Until
February.
February.
So, let's proceed to the main questions. First is for you, Kuya.
Okay.
What is your culture in your country?
My traditional culture, especially in my region, I have mandar. I call it mandar.
Manda.
Yeah.
So, your turn now. First question. What is your culture in your country?
Actually, we have many, maybe thousand kind of culture, but especially in my area, in my region, it's called as Bugis. And also, I have my own language in my area, but we also know about Bahasa or Indonesian language.
Dimensional language.
Okay, ma'am, it's your turn.
And me, I'm from Java Island, so you can call my culture is Javanese. So we have two language. We have Java language and then Indonesian language, or maybe you can call Bahasa. So in Java language, we have three. We have three language. We can use a language when we talk with maybe some children. We have other language if we talk with my friends, and I have other language when I must talk with other people like us. Yeah. So actually I have two language, but in Java language we have three language. Which one we talk with others? So we must choose what is the language is polite with the others.
Okay. So, Ma'am Hani, for you, what is cultural differentialism?
Okay, I think cultural differentiation is the difference cultural in my country, especially in Indonesia. So I will talk about the difference cultural in my country. The first is language that I talked earlier. So language, we have a lot of language in each area in Indonesia. And then the second is, I think, ceremony. So each area in Indonesia, especially in my island, Java Island, have a ceremony that maybe traditional ceremony.
Yeah.
So we must use maybe like special clothes. We must use, and then what is that? I don't know. Oh, maybe you know songket, and then this is the name of my special clothes in Java. So yeah, traditional clothes. So we must for girl maybe we must use kebaya. You can kebaya. It's like the traditional clothes, and for boy we can use belangkon. This is in Java Island, but I think in another area we have a lot of cultural in ceremony and then etc. And then about food too. In my country we have a lot of foods. We have a lot of traditional foods, especially about the area, because there are mountain area and then beach area and then etc. So we have a lot of traditional food, especially in my area. We have, because I live in Surabaya and in the city, I think in the big city in the Indonesia. So we have you can say lontong kupang. This is the traditional food in my area. So maybe in your area.
My traditional food is bugalu. Because I was in little village. Different with this, he is in a big city. I was from a village. It's called as bugalu. And also sinole. And also dange. How about you?
Okay. The first we have a jepa. You call it jepa. It's just like a pizza. But different made. It made from coconut. Okay. And then I didn't forget what is my tradition.
Yes.
Generally, my traditional food uh, there is in another area but different name. You got it?
Yes.
There's just like same food but different name. And
And
what
I
is
think
that?
about house. The model of the house in the each area is different. In my island, we can say the name of house in Java Island is a joglo. Joglo. So maybe if in Sumatra Island we have the different house, the different model. Maybe in Kalimantan Island, Sulawesi Island, we have a lot of different model of home, and it's a very, I think, very, what is that? It's very make our country is very
Rich of culture.
Rich,
Yeah.
rich of culture. And
And also in my area, it's called as rumah panggung. That the house is has legs,
yeah.
so it's like this, and also like
Oh yeah.
we use how to say to get our home. So
Ah,
there is a
stairs.
space in
Yeah, stairs, ladder.
yes, we are live in the second floor, but the first floor is empty, nothing. So and also there is in Toraja, it's called as tongkonan. Maybe you ever heard or not. It's a tongkonan. The architecture of the roof is very, I think it's amazing. How about you?
Actually, because my province especially is
So Sulawesi.
Similarly. No, not South Sulawesi but West Sulawesi. But actually it's developed from South Sulawesi. In 2004, our area is developed. So my province make its own province to be West Sulawesi from South Sulawesi. So our house shape, the type of our shape, our house, it seems like her house, traditional house. So yeah, we call it what is it? Rumah panggung. So it have legs. It depends on the big how many legs that you have. And yeah, if you're talking about the house, we just have a similar house. Yeah.
So for the last question, can you relate cultural differentialism to globalization?
Okay, about the relate cultural differentialism to globalization, I think especially in my country, about my model house maybe, it's joglo. So joglo, in the first, joglo is made from bamboo. Yeah, from bamboo. But now, joglo in my country, in my island, is from beton. Do you know what's beton? From, what is that, beton? Cement. Yeah, like maybe like what is that? Yeah, like cement, because like this it's modern. Okay, so in the first we have from bamboo and so traditional, and now is modern, but the model is still joglo. Joglo is the same. The roof is like this. This is joglo, but we made in from modern item, I think. So especially from my clothes, kebaya in the first is we have a transparent for my hands. So my hands can be seen each other. But now from globalization, especially in my country, we have Muslim. So to be Muslim, we must close our hands. So the kebaya now is in the hand. It's not transparent. So it's same with this, but the model is like kebaya, like this. So it's from globalization, and I think now our culture is still same, but maybe we develop into globalization. We can what is that? We can skip. And then about I think about language. especially in the first, our traditional language. Maybe I'm from Java Island. I can't speak in Bahasa in first. We just can speak. We just can speak in our traditional language. So every people in my island, especially maybe my grandmother, she can't speak Bahasa. She just can speak in Java language. The language is Krama, Ngopo, and Alus. This is Krama, Ngopo, and Alus. This is the language in Java. But from my parents, we must have maybe skill to can speak in Indonesian language, because we will help each other in other area, in other countries. So we must can speak in Indonesia, because in another island we can together with the others, like this. So from my parents, we have one of the, I think, education. So we must can be speak in Bahasa. In my generation, we must can speak English. Okay, for the first just traditional, and then the second generation we can speak Indonesian for in our country. But in the third, we must can speak in English. So because we make a relation with international. This is the relate our culture with globalization.
So, ma'am, additional question po. In your country, did you adopt other culture or doings in the other country?
Maybe I will answer it. You know jeans.
Yes.
Actually, jeans is
Yes.
from Europe, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, we accept it and develop in our country because we think it's good product and and maybe you want to
Yeah.
you don't want to comment something.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
So just but not jeans. Especially our hijab, like
Yeah.
this. This is
Not pure Indonesia maybe.
it's not from Indonesia, but from Arabic.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Arabic. So Muslim come in Indonesia and we must wear it. So we adapt from Arabic.
Yeah, adapted from Arabic, I mean Muslim to Indonesia. So we combine the so we are not have a sin maybe,
Yeah.
and then we combine between the region and the to the culture. So
Yeah.
we cover it to be I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
still same. There is no change.
Because in the first, all of the people in Indonesia, especially in my island, we have no hijab
Yeah.
in Java
Actually,
Island. We
Same.
every girl in Java Island must make her hair like, what is that? Like this. This is a name of sanggul. So we must But in development in now for globalization about our religion in Muslim, so we must wear this hijab. This is from Arabic. Yeah. So in Indonesia, I think it's not from Indonesia, but from another country.
So that's for all, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Ma'am, for you, what is cultural differentialism?
Okay, for me, when we talk about cultural differentialism, it's the differences among cultures. I said among cultures because in our country, even though we are all Filipinos, we do not have one distinct culture. So, as I always tell my students, no, we Filipinos do not have what you call national identity. So you, being a Filipino, you also have another culture as a Kapampangan, as a Bisaya, as a Ilocano, as Waray, etc. So there are several cultures, no, that make a Filipino. Okay, but then sometimes going to the positive side, that's a good thing because it makes us diverse, no. It makes us unique, no, as a Filipino. But on the other hand, these different cultures that we have, or cultural differentialism, also produces conflict. for me, that's my own perception. It also produces conflict, especially when it comes to different perspectives.
Next, ma'am, what is your culture in your country?
So, basically, pareho tayo. Your culture is the same with my culture. However, even though we are both Filipino, no, the culture that you practice in your house or in your local may be different from what we practice in our local. So, in our place, culture, we have what you call, of course, the close family ties, no? So, we really value our family. Even though I have my own family, I always make sure that my parents, my siblings are okay. So sometimes I overdo it. That makes sometimes they are being dependent to me. Okay. Another culture that we have in our families, of course, the different fiestas, no? So I may say that they are also positive, but on the other hand, negative, because sometimes even though you don't have your money, you have to spend a lot more than what you have. Okay.
Last, ma'am, can you relate cultural differentialism to globalization?
Yes, of course. Because when you say globalization, it's somewhat related to different, parang it's a combination or fusion of different cultures. So when you say globalization, it becomes borderless. So the same thing with cultural differentialism, no? The different cultures are mixed together and come up with one culture which is different from the rest.